Okay, that's straight up weird. Oh yeah. Hey friends, how we doing? So we've been here before, and they built a rental home here, and it was just a bit of tree work, a bit of falling. It was actually a fun job, but this is interesting. This tree is really tall. I don't know if it's gonna fit. It would be just a hellish climb because it's tall. This great big one's coming out right by the trailer here. It's a monster. And all that's coming out behind the trailer there. And it's gotta go somewhere. It's gonna be a tricky one. It is, friends, seriously, it's tricky. Look at this tree. Look at this thing. It is a monster. I don't know if it'll fit. I think it will. I think it will, but it's huge and it's right beside the house. I think what I'll do is I'll peg that tree, those two big trees, and maybe the top will break off. Yeah. Morning. How's it going? Good, you? Good. Yeah, so this sucker's tall. Real tall. We may butt rig this one back to that tree too, so when it hits the ground it won't smack them steps there. You see, it's got a dog leg in it. It's a pretty flat lay though. Pretty flat lay. Oh, where's my tape? I'll be in my truck. What are you doing? This is your shack.
Yep.
All this is coming out, friends. All this in here. It's tight quarters, really tight. And there's one bent right over the freaking house there. Is that a trailer with a reno, or is that one of those modular? Yeah. Do you know my boy, Eli? Have you met Hogan? That's my boy.
How you doing?
Yeah, that's a tall tree. Real tall. But I think that'll come in here before the line. It's gonna be close, boy. Right beside the house. I think what I'll do is I'll peg that tree, those two big trees, and maybe the top will break off. Yeah. Yeah. I think I should probably... I was thinking about maybe shooting it at that tree right there so I could... But I don't want to hit the maple and then have the maple go out across the road neither, so... Because that's what can happen. But if it hits this tree dead on, it'll bust the top off, you see, which will be good. But I'm just going to shoot it up the driveway right by the freaking steps there, I guess.
How many trees are you taking out?
I don't know, just what's ever here. I didn't count them. All this here and those two, that one right there.
Clearing it out for the road pretty much?
No, just this here along the side here.
So, you're not doing nothing down in here then?
No. So, friends, here's the deal. This is my concern. This is actually, it's kind of a bummer because it's leaning hard. Like, look it's not pretty, friends. It's all on the trailer or whatever, the modular. But this tree here's got to go up in here. It's the only place it can go unless we climb it and chunk it out, which is just no fun because they're trying to get the logs. They're trying to send logs to the mill. You see, so it can go here. It can go here, but the only thing is if that sucker gets hung in this tree, it's not pretty. I'm almost thinking of climbing this tree. It's a fat, ugly climb, but I'm thinking about either climbing one of them and stripping the limbs off, or what I can do, because I can't have it, it's got to go on the inside of that tree over there. Like on the inside of the big one, but then there's others in there, and there's a structure over there. Like it's kind of funky. It's tight. You know, it just is. We got wind, like, so that I don't think that'll go through there. I think it'll get hung. There's some massive limbs in this big tree up here. Like they're huge, and I can't have that get hung. And if it did get hung, well, I think it will get hung actually, unless it travels fast enough where it busts them all off and goes through. That would be primo if it did that. Now the only other thing I could do is hit it with this one. And I don't like this neither, because it's one of these freaking things. It's one of these freaking twins. And we remember what happened to us last time that happened. Remember, friends? Look, it's split. Look at this. This is sketchy. I can't do that. I've got to take this one separately behind me, and that one's going in there. It's the only way to do it. I'm not doing that again, especially right on the house. If this thing split, this is bye-bye house. Look at it, friends. It's a freaking twin. Look. And remember last time? It wasn't pretty. Oh, and this has got, okay. Yeah, so this will come out this way though. It will. And that'll help me get that one out. So that's not too bad. But it's this stuff is my concern. It's this, getting it through here. But there is quite a bit of travel room before the tree. But it can't get hung up. It can't get hung up. It's a tough decision. It's a tough decision. Like, look at the bones on this thing, friends. Look at them. They're massive. And they're all growing out that way. So if it gets hung, it's hung. Like, it's hung. And that will not be pretty. We got structures over there. We got to get it in here somehow. So that's kind of the plan. So I'm gonna, yeah, and that tree is tall. Wow, that's a tall tree. Oh, what do I do here with this one? My gut feeling says fall it. My gut feeling says it'll go through. And then if it doesn't go through, I can get it with, because all I need to do is get it on this side of the tree, of this side of that tree, and I think I can do that. I honestly think I can. And that's all I would need to do. That's it. I'll talk to you in a minute. I need it to stay. I need to actually hit it, not in close to this big one, but out a bit on the limbs, but I've got to get it on the inside of this. It's a tight squeeze. It's a real tight squeeze, and the tree's got a bit of a lean out that away with a bow in it. So it's going to be deceiving. It looks like I'm going to ship it closer. This is where you have to look at the crown of the tree. It doesn't matter where your stem, like you look at this stem and you think, okay, I got to fall that stem right there. Well, no, you don't. You need to fall the stem there, because the crown, the stem is here, but the crown, friends, goes way out. Look at where it's at. So literally it's got to go right for that little tree right there. So that's kind of the deal. Thank you, sir.
My friend.
Thank you very kindly. So let's cut this thing up, and I don't want it to go too slow. I want to cut it fast so that it starts traveling. I'm hoping this is going to bust through there, Sonny. Okay, I got my old stomach's going here now. My old stomach's going here now. Tree's rotten. Okay friends, so we got a little bit of a situation here. The tree's rotten and it's got side lean, and I wanted to cut the tree up fast to get it moving fast. And the reason I opened it up like that is because it's gonna hit foliage. You see what I mean? It's gonna hit foliage. So when it hits foliage, I don't want it to close up. Look at, it's rotten, completely rotten. It's got a little post over there and a post right here. It's not pretty. There's the undercut. This is not good. So I got to cut it up slower than I thought now. I wanted to cut it up fast. So these things change. They change. So we're hoping this is going to go through this crown. You know, can hit it with this one, but we got root rot, which makes this really bad on the house. This is not pretty. That one's definitely got it too. I may have to get the climbing gear out. Look at that. This is not pretty at all. We'll go over here and get this stuff now. We'll open up this. Yeah, put timber in there. Leave your power saw there if you want. There we go. That's all you need. Just make sure you don't cut your wood off. Go have a look, see what you got over there. Don't take for granted that you're all perfect. See, you got wood here, you gotta take some more. Don't take for granted that you're all perfect. See, you got wood here, you gotta take some more. This side's wide. There it goes. That's tall. Okay, plans have changed. This tree here, look at it. There's no point in chasing that lean. Yeah, it's got a dog leg in it, but if you put your plumb up, the weight is to the corner of the house. That's where the weight is. Now, do we have root rot like we did over there? We could have. We most definitely could have. Now, the problem is my target tree, which I was going to use right here, this little guy, see it? It's actually leaning in here. So my plan was to use that one to take that one out. And I actually probably still could do that, but I'm afraid it might break off, and he's got a shed over there. So this is a tough decision, actually. This is a very tough decision, but I'm thinking I may use this one still to take this one out. I'm thinking. But in saying that, I will probably tag it back to that tree to make sense. We got root rot here. Look at this tree. It's rotten. It's completely rotten. And it's going in it. I took a chance that it would go through there, and it didn't. But that's no problem because it's on the inside of that tree, and that's all I wanted. So I got to get it by the corner of the house is all I want to do, is get it by the corner of the house and have it dribble up in here. We got hydro way over there. We're good. But the tree's quite tall, so I got to get it to come in here. So that's the plan. Look at it, friends. I mean, it's leaning. You got to watch your gig here. You got to watch your gig. So here we are. Here's the trees. Here's the trailer. I'm right behind it now. I'm not worried about that one. It's this one, and I think I can get it to go. I think I can get it to go. I may have to climb that crazy son of a leaner, but I can use that little one to take this one out, and they'll both go. But I think because of this lay in here, I should quickly throw a tag in it. You know, we'll see. Let's go have a look. Look at this thing. It's actually making noise. Look at it. That thing will come out. Don't go underneath it as I go under it. But see, my importance was, friends, was to get on this side of this tree of it. So, because it went on that side, it was going in there and slipping and taking out that structure. So that's not what we want. Look at how big these limbs are that it was breaking off. Look at the size of these limbs. Look at, it took two. Look, they're massive. They're 4-inch material and they're big. Woo! So it almost went through. That root rot didn't help us at all. It lightens the tree up. This thing's gonna go. It's gonna go in the wind by itself. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes while we're working over here. So I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna cut that thing up. And if I've got root rot, if I see root rot, that's when I'll stop in my first cut. I'll make my first cut in that one. If I see root rot, I'll stop and I'll put a tagline in it, right? I could put a tagline in it now, but if I don't have to, I won't. Because if it doesn't have root rot, I'm good. It'll bang. And then I got to high stump this little guy to nurse it in. So that's the plan. That's the plan. It's tall wood, but what I want to do is I just want to get it by and over in there. I don't want it to go straight out to the road. So I'll talk to you in a minute. Hey friends, good morning. It's Sunday morning. I'm making this video for you here right now, and I just want to interject for a second. Listen, and leave a comment in the comment section. Are you guys interested in my thought process, or do you just want to see undercut, back cut, just going from tree to tree, knocking trees over? To me, this channel has evolved into people asking me questions a lot and wondering what's going on in my brain and wondering why I'm doing things. So I've started to explain more of my thought process on jobs. I mean, friends, yeah, undercut, back. If just tell me if because yeah, there's lots of talking. There's lots of talking. You can skip right through the talking if you want. That's fine. If you don't want to learn what's going on, then just and watch the trees go down. Fine. That's up to you. But do you people, friends, soldiers, messengers, do you like the thought process, the talking, the giving you the idea of what's going on in my brain and kind of how we're working our way through the job? Let me know if you enjoy that in the videos. If not, I'll cut back on the chatting and we'll just kind of work, because to me, I'm working for you. It's plain and simple. I'm a realist, friends. I mean, yes, I enjoy the living poop out of this, but it takes a long time to put these videos together, especially with the 2 views and all that. So I think this is the smart way to go myself, but that's just me. So why don't you guys let me know, guys, gals, women, and children, let me know if you enjoyed the thought process and kind of the thought of it, okay? Leave a thing. Oh, and don't forget to pack up your wife and kids in the old 70s trailer and scoot down to Buckenstock in Mishawaka in Indiana on the 14th and 15th of July to come and throw some axes and maybe to make some cuts to learn about the gullet and perhaps maybe climb the little tree here and there, and we can have some fun. Make a campfire, blow some harmonica, you call it the harp. Have some fun, friends. Back to the show, or not. Okay, I'm gonna cut this thing up. It's leaning back, but the wind is blowing that way. Like, it's leaning back hard, actually, this way. But it's different in fallen than it is in tree work, friends. It just is, okay? So here's the deal. We're gonna clean the stump out real good here. Thanks, son.
Where do you want it?
Right anywhere there's good. Anywhere. So here it is. So we're leaning hard on the trailer, you see, with all them bones. But this tree will sustain an undercut like nothing. But it's got to go out in there. There it goes. This tree's gonna go. There it goes. It's weighing hard. It's been an hour since I fell it. There it goes. No, it's gonna go. You see that? This has been here for an hour, friends, this tree. 1 hour. Slight breeze, nothing crazy. It's weighing on a limb. It's slowly bending those fibers and it just went pop! Like a big, huge pop. That tree's gonna go.
Oh, it's still cracking.
Yeah, it's gonna leave right now. And it's gonna go on the inside of that tree, which is what we wanted. This is beautiful. You see, it's already off the stump and it's rolled, you see? The only bit of holding we had was right there. This tree's rotten. I cut it up and it was freaking rotten. It's off the stump, but I don't want to cut it off the stump. If it's got any holding wood at all, I want it still there. Guys will think, oh, let's spin it off the stump. Maybe it'll fall out. Yeah, maybe it'll roll right out and over there too. We don't want that. We want this holding wood still here. Yes, there is. There's holding wood. Look, friends, there's fiber right there. That's saving us out right now, friends. This thing's gonna go. It's just gonna break and go. And it's gonna end up right down in there, which is what we wanted. I knew I was taking a chance trying to cram it through there. The root rot didn't help. I bet you I could beat that with an axe and it would fall out of there. Did you feel me up?
No, I dropped it.
There it goes.
I gotta feel it up. I don't want to be head down.
No. No, it's gonna go. This breeze might even help. This wouldn't last through the night, I know that. It'll probably go on its own. Which would be nice actually. Wouldn't it, son?
What?
If it went on its own.
Yeah.
That'd be real nice. There it goes. I love it!
Killer.
That's gorgeous.
Damn it, I missed the video.
That's okay. That is just beautiful.
Friends, that tree, that was a judgment call on my part, okay? I knew that if it didn't go through, it was going to be like really close not going through. We've been working for an hour. Since I hung it up there, it's been
more than an hour.
Well, more than an hour, Hogan says. Yeah, you're right. It probably has.
Almost an hour and a half, too.
Hour and a half. So it's been sitting there for an hour and a half. And about 3 minutes ago, it made a great big pop. And it was one limb. Look at the freaking swath it put through there. Okay, so that's where it had to go. So you can see what my issue was, is if it ended up going in behind that tree on the right there, not the big one here on the left, that one over there, there's two side by side. If it had gone on the right of that, it would have rolled right out and smashed those structures over there. And the reason the root rot stung me is I wasn't able to cut it up as fast as I wanted. If it was a solid stump, I would have ate up backwood really fast, which makes the tree kind of go and lunge forward. Do you understand what I'm saying, friends? Do you know what I mean? I know you do. But if you tickle it and you got to slowly watch it so it stays on the stump, the tree goes, right? So that got me. That's why it didn't go through the first time. But it stayed on course, and I was going to hit it with this one. But now I may send that the other way now. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So that's opened up opened up an avenue for us. But look what I was dealing with when I put my first cut in. Look at that root rot right on these freaking people's house. There's no saying it's not there neither. Look at that. So that's why your first cut, friends, is always, when you're in tree work, your first cut, really look at the sawdust. A lot of guys don't pay attention to it. Take a look at your sawdust. You could be cutting into a rotten tree. I mean, you'll notice it with how fast your power saw goes in, but be careful, friends, on those first cuts. Look at the holding wood this thing had. It had 2 posts. That's it. Look at this. This was worse than I thought, son. A little bit of holding wood right there. There's some hinge, and there's some hinge over there, which was just hanging on right there for us. So I did not want it. I did not want it to roll out. It would have went in on the other side of that. So that's good. I'm very happy about that. Aren't you, Sonny?